Elizabeth has been in a bad mood since we arrived in Ipswich. The town is passionately in favour of the Reformed religion, and Elizabeth has a hankering for the old ways of the church. The ministers here have wives, and Elizabeth longs for a celibate clergy dressed in the richest of robes. She is such a silly mix of reform and papistry. She's not serious about her faith like Jane. They have promised her a water mask of boats to take her mind off her complaints, and we all have to take our places in one of the great trading ships to dine and watch the display that has been prepared for Elizabeth's amusement. The ship is anchored, and the outgoing tide makes it pull against the hawser and rock and twist. It's a horrible movement, both side to side and up and down at the same time, far worse than rowing in a barge. I can feel the bile rise in the back of my throat, and my mouth is filled with brine. "We will dine," says Elizabeth, as if she can read my white face and knows that I am afraid that I will not make it through the day without vomiting. Ah, oysters. The famous Colchester oysters are offered to the Queen, and she slides her eyes to Robert Dudley and says, "Is it true they inspire lust in the unwary?" "Not only in the unwary," he says, and the two of them laugh together. "Perhaps virgins, like Lady Catherine and I, should not taste them," she says. The server, taking the hint, immediately proffers Elizabeth's great platter of oysters to me. With her dark gaze on me, I have to take one. I cannot refuse to eat a gift from the Queen's platter, and I raise the shell to my mouth. The smell of seaweed and the sight of gluey shell is going to be too much for me. I know I am never going to be able to eat it. I know I'm going to disgrace myself before the court. I can taste the salt of hot bile in my mouth. I can feel my stomach heave and churn. "Bon appetit," says the Queen to me, her sharp eyes on my green face. "And to you, Your Majesty," I say, and I open my mouth and I pour it down and I swallow it down. I close my mouth like a trap and I hold it. The Queen laughs so hard that she has to cling to Robert's hands. "Your face!" she exclaims. "Have another," she begs me. "Have more."